We are live
Nice.
here with Joe Robleto. So Joe Robleto is a you had we had spent some time together, man, as personal trainers. And hold on a second, let me turn this phone off. We spent some time as personal trainers, man, and you know, you as you know, it's not like when you become certified as a personal trainer. It's not something. It's an always an ongoing journey where you're always learning, you're always expanding, and so there's a lot of things that I've learned from you along the way, and I still apply some of those same things till now. So, Joe here, he has gotten a chance to train professional athletes, professional baseball players, you know, and so what were some of the things, like what does it take, um, you know, as I would say, like as a trainer to get to that level where you're training professional athletes, and then also what does it take for, let's say, someone who comes in, trying to make it, let's say, to the major leagues, for example, like what kind of dedication and work ethic does it take to get to that level in the gym?
Hey man, I just want to say that I'm right now. I'm a father. I'm a business service manager. I was a personal trainer, but it's been a while. And one of the things that I've always looked up to you about is your consistency, your perseverance, and how dedicated and committed you've always been. Man, you're my inspiration when it comes to deadlifts, brother. And when I do it, when I do a deadlift, I think about you, brother, every single time. It's so awesome to be here talking to you, Ishmael, about my past experience training pro athletes. I was just thinking about it prior to coming online. What era of my life or what moment in my life that meant or that was, and that was between 26 years old to 31 years old or 33 years old, in the gym, active, same as you now, brother, committed to a lifestyle that just is a rigorous grinding, bone crunching, self pain inflicting, and it's awesome. And one of the things that we were talking about earlier was just what kind of inspiration one is when they take on that responsibility of being healthy, living a healthy lifestyle, and that responsibility is to oneself first. The benefit of having that commitment to yourself is that other people see it.
Mm-hmm.
At that time in my life, you know, coming in at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning to train someone, whether it was Elizabeth, who was a detective for the San Diego PD, or James, who was a private detective, and Victor, like we talked about, who's a
Yeah,
banker, and these people, they exuded mentally what I physically was all about, was
yeah.
sacrifice, hard work, determination, setting goals, and they did that professionally. And because they saw me and met me at the gym, and including my clients who were pro athletes, were inspired. So my inspiration to self motivate inspired others from the get go, and that was just so. It was an awesome experience, very humbling, because sometimes you're used for that purpose, is to serve others. And fortunately, when you're serving them a big plate of kale, or a big plate of bench presses, you know that recipe is just going to help them out, and people want that, and people need that. And so pro athletes, man, that's why I was able to train pro athletes, because my mentality at the time was exactly like a pro athlete. It
Mm.
was it was I know that I'm gonna make.
Hold up, Joe. I lost you. There you go. What
Yeah,
happened?
I have no idea.
Okay, go ahead.
uh,
It's all good.
uh, okay, so yeah, I thought like a pro athlete, and what that means for in my experience is I'm willing to make that sacrifice. or I was then, and pro athletes are make the decision to be the best even before they get out of bed. When they're in grade school, they're already trying to achieve something. But it doesn't mean that somebody who just recognizes that now and wants to change can't, you know, alter that mentality
Mm-hmm.
to from sedentary, I'm going to go have Taco Bell, to the guys are having a few beers and, and my other friends are going to the gym. I'm just going to go have a couple of pints at the pub.
Yeah.
Uh, Understanding that not doing those things that are negative habits to habits that are positive, such as, my alarm set at 3 o'clock so I can get up and at least do 100 to 500 sit-ups, you know, or or anything in your specific agenda.
Yeah.
If you want to be a bodybuilder, then you got to get up early. You got to go out and know it's going to hurt. You got to sacrifice, and you got to tell your mind before you even get started, this is what we're going to do. So projecting, I guess, is really important as well. Is knowing what you've already become in your mind has steps to get there. So
Mm-hmm.
physically, you put things down, whether on a plan or jot things down on a notebook, or even it's post-its on your bathroom mirror. Like I have one now. It says, get your fat ass up and go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, man. I was fortunate. It was a very, very exciting moment in my life to see the hard work that I can put in with a friend, and the results and the outcome they got.
So
That,
so
that
so let me ask you just so what kind of work ethic what kind of work ethic did it take for let's say like the baseball player that you trained? Like I
mhm.
only saw you guys in the gym, when I was there, but I didn't really see what entire regiment you were on. Like exactly what kind of work did it take for him to make it from the skinny looking kid that he was in the beginning to being this big beefed up, ready for the major leagues? Like what was he doing in the gym and outside the gym to get there?
Well, he was definitely man. He, our friend was what we'll call him. My
Yeah.
friend was determined. So when I got him, I'd get him in the fall. His sports agent would contact me, and we would work out the agreements, which was just for me professionally a pinnacle of my career.
Hmm.
Making these kinds of contracts with pro athletes and their agents, and negotiating top dollar for you know expert type fitness, and
Exactly.
that and that's what the gym was. We'll get into that one on another day,
Yeah,
but
man.
uh, they were paying that amount of money to get early morning wake up calls, phone calls, 5 o'clock in the
So wait,
morning meet.
so wait a second. Did you actually? Because I had a client, man. Like it got to a point where he's like, "Dude, here's a key to my house. Come and wake me up." And so he was paying me to come to his house to get him out of bed. Like what kind of wake ups did you actually have to go wake this guy? Be there, standing over his bed, like, "Yo, get up," or
No, man. Sometimes he would wake me up because how aggressive and hungry he was,
wow,
and he would motivate me and tell me, Joe beat me up today,
yeah,
and there was never a day that this guy said take it easy, you
wow,
know, yeah, and that was to me just exhilarating because I wanted to be at his level. And sometimes he would train me and I would train him. But the regiment consisted of diet, cardiovascular activity, resistance training, even down to getting him a chiropractor so he can have post workout therapies, and it was very, very strict.
what was he
So
eating? What was he eating when he was on this regiment?
Oh, it was off season. So off season, it was muscle. It was just mass.
Okay,
Our focus was building mass because you saw his physique when we first started training, and
yeah,
it needed construction, right? It needed a good fundamental. His lower half needed growth. So we worked on hypertrophy there.
Yeah.
Um, we're talking about, sleds, sprints, squats, lunges. Uh, it was dirt nitty gritty. It wasn't, get on this pulley system here and do ballet,
Said do
ballet
ballet.
movements. No, this was, work up a hill 50 times, and then the next 50 you're going to do it with me on your back, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So this, we put a lot of effort into building his, a good foundation of physical, uh, dominance, and it worked out. So what did he eat? He ate, six hard-boiled eggs in the morning, six fried eggs in the morning, uh, a couple, toast, a couple, whole grain toast, yogurt, orange juice, at least 2,600 calories in the morning. In the
Hmm.
morning, just to get going, a good carbohydrate load. So when we got to the gym, it was all about, putting that resistance on, and building the muscle. And then once we on our cardio days, it was very light. It was loaded in the evening the day before. So a good pasta regimen for the day after, and we would work on explosions just for that fast twitch muscle fiber. And it was fun working. I'm not a dietitian, but
Yeah.
and because we shared similar cultures, I knew that tortillas were accessible for him. I knew
Yeah.
that bread was readily accessible for him. A couple key ingredients that, without manipulating his pantry, we were able to succeed. You know what I mean? So it's not
So
like, you can go ahead.
okay, so I remember seeing you. You'd be surprised. I remember a lot of stuff that we talked about, but I remember that when you were trying to find like athlete specific workouts, we were talking about that, and I remember that conversation. You were talking about how the different movements that you would have to put him through because of the position that he had in baseball, right?
Mm.
So, like, how did you go about finding um, you know, like workout specific, or should I say, athlete specific workouts for the specific athlete? How did you go about doing that?
Again, because we were limited with resources, there's always, taking it back to basics. We know what the pectoral muscle does and what it's capable of and what its function is.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know where it is, because we know what it does, we know how to improve on that muscle and to improve its efficiency of its function. So with an athlete, if you take it back to the basics, all right, what are the basic movements? And one of the things that I do regret is not having the resources that a renowned university like UCLA might have, and for their sports medicine, and their sports athletes, where they can put maybe probes and monitors on certain actions, and then get them digitally.
Yeah.
And that's available for a price. But for us, it was looking a lot in the mirror, going through the motion of his sport specific activity,
Yeah.
and then taking those movements, applying weight to them, applying maybe certain ideas of how to improve on form, how to improve on its reaction time, how to improve. It was always just right. If a pitcher does this, or if a shortstop does this, what does he need to do to improve that or that performance? That How can he become more effective? And for my friend, it helped out. We worked on it. It's funny you remember that, because that was really big for us. It was a big focus, and then subsequently it kind of assisted other clients where maybe their lifestyle is sedentary. So the next time that I see them, let's maximize the time that you are standing up,
Hmm.
and work on the muscles that are affected, like your lower back muscles are affected when you're sitting down. Your up, your rhomboids by the curvature that they fall into by just sitting behind the desk, and then strengthen those areas to ultimately not make them better, sedentary people, but make them better, or make them more fit at the activity that they perform or that they execute on a daily basis.
Okay, so
So
so let me ask you. Okay, so you know, I know in business because on this platform, we also talk about the entrepreneur lifestyle as well. And one thing that I learned in just with some of the personal development that I've been like the audiobooks and stuff like that. Like one of the guys, he says that what he would do with his business is he would actually um, test something out and then see how it works and then take a step back and then review it, right? And then
mm.
set new goals. So like what were some things that that you that you had to take a step back and look at it and say what kind of adjustments did you have to make in regards to the pro baseball athlete that you were training?
Well, for us, it was all about uh, muscle growth. A bodybuilder is his only intention is mass and size. So being input into this new responsibility of or taking on this new responsibility of training this pro athlete, I had to put aside those that desire to grow muscle, and I had to take a step back and say, that's not going to work for this guy. It's really
Yeah,
not. If he puts on, a couple inches on his bicep, it might affect his curveball.
yeah.
So understanding and always focusing and keeping the plan in mind and keeping the task in hand, uh, they go hand in hand. So it wasn't scatterbrained, or it was methodical. It was more detailed. And like I said, I learned a lot, and it made me a better trainer because for the rest of my clients who had different specific goals that they wanted to reach. But understanding that through the good plan, and we've always been trained, if this was a pie, how much of it is cardio, how much of it is that, and that does apply, but it's all attitude.
Yeah.
It's an attitude that needs to be an internal change, and that change will ultimately affect others as well. And that's the beauty of physical fitness and the healthy lifestyle that we all want to achieve. And some get there faster than others, some don't. But everybody wants to live a little bit longer, and the fitness industry was just an amazing way to to help other people get there.
Okay, so how many days a week were you training this guy
We were
when
training
he
four
when
days.
he was training with you? How many days a week would he go?
We would go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 days a week, and one weekend. So the weekend was, something in the area of massage.
You there, Joe? You there? Hello? Uh-oh. Hello? Hello? Joe? Hello? I think we lost him. Anyway, so I think I lost him. I'm going to end this video. So yes, that was Joseph Robleto. And as you can see, he's got some experience with training professional athletes. And, you know, so basically you kind of see like, what it takes, what kind of workout regimens it took for him to get uh, the baseball player that he had, to get him to the level um, that he got to with his in regards to his fitness for his specific sport that he was in. So I'm going to end this meeting because somehow it looks like he got cut off. And check back in, guys. I'm gonna be posting hopefully more interviews like this. I've got quite a few friends who I've reached out to. Some have actually participated and said that they would come in on live interviews, and then I've got some friends who, um, you know, I don't know if they they're too busy, too cool. Maybe I'm not cool enough, but we'll see if they come through. Anyways, if all of you out there watching and found this live meeting beneficial, give this video a like and share it. If you know someone who is, trying to prepare themselves as to become professional athletes, they may find this video uh, beneficial and useful. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to end this video right now, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care and have a good one, guys.